I want to start this session by the thought of the day. Everything is easy if you are crazy. Nothing will be easy if you are lazy. I hope you have well understood this thought. Myself Utkarsh Raj and these are my group members Sivansh, Yuraj, Saul, Varun and Deepen. We are going to present the chapter 5 of the book Footprints Without Feet, that is, Footprints Without Feet itself. It is quite interesting chapter, so enjoy this chapter. So our journey is going to start from introduction to the writer, then introduction to the story, followed by explanation of the chapter in 5 different parts by each group individual, then English summary of the story, followed by Hindi summary of the story, and so on. So I am starting with the introduction to the writer. The writer of the story Footprints Without Feet is H.G. Wells, whose full name is Herbert George Wells. He was born on 21st September 1866 in the village Bromley at Kent in England. His father was Joseph Bell and mother was Sarah Nell. At his early of age, his family's economic condition was not good, so he had not affordable too much facilities of life. He completed his studies by scholarships. At his young age, his one of the leg got fractured by some accident. At that time, he used to spend his lot of time in reading the books and got the inspiration of writing and become a amazing English writer. He wrote dozens of novels, short stories, and works on social commentary, history, biography, and autobiography. He wrote one of the famous novels that is science fiction, which include a lot of science fiction books. One of these is The Invisible Man, which was published in 1897. And I want to mark one thing that our story, Footprints Without Feet, has been taken from this book only. I mean, The Invisible Man. Other works of science fiction novel were The Time Machine, The War of the Worlds, The First Man in the Moon, The Space of Things to Come, and so on. One of his great achievements is that he was nominated for the Nobel Prize in the Literature 4 times. This bright star completed his life cycle at the age of 79, died on 13th August 1946 in Regent's Park, London. This was a little introduction about H.G. Wells. Now, let me to introduce about the story. I have already mentioned that this story has been taken from the book The Invisible Man, written by H.G. Wells. This story is of a scientist named Griffin who had recently discovered something with which he can invisible his body, and he done the same. He become invisible by that brilliant discovery. He done a lot of adventures by become invisible. I want to start this session from a question. Is this discovery of science was used for goodness or this is misused? To know it, let's take a look on explanation of the story. So,
The story begins like the two boys started in surprise at the fresh, muddy implement of a pair of bare feet. What was a barefooted man doing on the step of a house in the middle of London. And where was the man? As they gazed, a remarkable sight met their eyes. A fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Further footprints followed one after another, descending the step and progressing down the street. The boys followed fascinated until the muddy impression became fainter and fainter and at the last disappeared. The explanation of the mystery was really simple enough. The bewildered boy had been following a scientist who had just discovered how to make the human body transparent. Griffin, the scientist, had carried out experiment after experiment to prove that the human body could become invisible. Finally, he swallowed certain rare drugs and his body became as transparent as a sheet of glass, though it also remained as solid as glass. Brilliant scientist, though he was, Griffin was rather a lawless person. His landlord disliked him and tried to eject him. In revenge, Griffin set fire to the house. To get away without being seen, he had to remove his clothes. Thus, it was that he became a homeless wanderer, without clothes, without money, and quite invisible until he happened to step in some mud and left footprint as he walked.
Artist escaped very easily from the boy when caught with mud imprints, but his unusual adventures were not over yet. He had chosen an unpleasant time to roam in London. The air was extremely cold and it was difficult to live without clothes. Instead of roaming in London, he decided to go into a big London store so that he can get some warmth. When the time arrived to close the shops, Griffin gave himself the joy of clothing and ate food without any expense. He opened boxes and wore overcoats, shoes, and a wide-brimmed hat. Then he became completely dressed and noticeable person. In the kitchen, he ate cold meat and coffee and followed up the meal with sweets and wine taken from the grocery store. At the last, he slept on a pile of quilts. If he was able to wake up at that time, everything will have been good. As he did not wake up until the assistants were already arriving next morning. When he saw some assistants were near to him, he got scared and began to run. At last, he was able to escape only by quickly removing his newly found clothes. Again, he was invisible and uncovered in chill January. Again, he decided to steal clothes in the theatrical company, as he knew he would get something there to cover his face as well. He hurried towards the Drury Lane, where he found suitable shop for stealing the items. He stole bandages for his face, dark glasses for his eyes, false nose, bushy side whiskers, and large hat. To escape without being noticed, he hits the shopkeeper from behind and steals all his money he was able to find.
After escaping from the shop, he was in a hurry to get far away from London. He took a train and went to village of Iping, where he had 2 rooms booked in local inn. The arrival of stranger at an inn in winter was an strange event. The stranger unusual or strange appearance made everyone tongue wagging, means gossip. But was not in mood of talking with anyone and telling them that he came here to find some loneliness. He was expecting that no one is going to disturb him here in his work. He also told Mrs. Hall that he had recently faced an accident which has affected his faith. Mrs. Hall accepted that her new guest was a strange scientist and was ready to excuse his temper and his habit as he paid her in advance. Then the time came when money was over and he had no ready cash available for further payment at the inn. He had to pretend that he was waiting for a check which could arrive at any moment. Then something really strange happened. The clergyman and his wife were awakened by some noises in their study room. When they were coming downstairs, they could hear the sound of money being taken from clergy's desk. The clergyman held a metal rod in his hand and flung the door open. As soon as he opened the door, he said, "Surrendered," as he thought he caught the thief. To their surprise, they couldn't see anyone. They looked under the desk, behind the curtain, and also up the chimneys, but no one was there to be seen. Yet the desk was open and the housekeeping money was gone. Then the clergyman kept on saying something extraordinary affair the whole day because he was shocked by the incident. But the things that happened with Mrs. Hall were more fascinating.
On that day, Mr. and Mrs. Hall wake up very early and they saw that the scientist's door was open, which generally used to be closed. He became angry when someone entered his room. They peeped around the door and saw that nobody was inside the room. They saw that the bedclothes were cold, which showed that the scientist had waken up very early and all his clothes and bandages were lying on the bed. Suddenly, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ear and hat lying on bedpost strike on her face, and the bedroom chair became alive, which was springing in the air, and the chair's leg were moving here and there, and his Mrs. Hall and Mr. Hall were in terror, and suddenly the chair pushed them both out of the room, and the door. Then it appeared that someone had locked the door. Mrs. Hall fell down from the stairs in hysterics, means in extreme fear. She was convinced that that room is haunted by spirit. There is some spirit inside the room, and those spirit entered into her furniture Mr. because of the scientist Griffin. And then she moaned that her poor mother used to sit on that chair, and today that chair is rising against her. The news spread among neighbors, and neighbors thought that the trouble is caused by witchcraft, means some type of black magic. But when the news of the robbery of clergyman's house reached spread in the village, then the strange scientist was suspected of having a hand in it, hand in it. Suspicion grew even stronger when he gave some cash to Mrs. Hall. The village constable was secretly called, but Mrs. Hall did not wait for the village constable and went to the scientist, who had somehow mysteriously appeared from his empty room, and start asking her questions. That what you have done with my chair, that what he have done with her chair, and how he have entered in an empty room, how in a locked room, and how he came out from an empty room, etc., etc. She asking her questions.
The scientist was always quick tempered. Now he became furious. "You don't understand who or what I am," he shouted. "Very well, I will show you." Suddenly he threw off bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and even nose. It took him only a minute to do this. The horrified people in the bar found themselves starting at a headless man. Mr. Jeffers, the constable, now arrived and was quite surprised to find that he had to arrest a man without a head. But Jeffers was not easily prevented from doing this duty. If a magistrate's warrant ordered a person arrest, then that person had to be arrested with or without his head. There followed a remarkable scene as the policeman tried to get hold of a man who was becoming more and more invisible as he threw off garment after another.
Finally, a shot flew into the air, and the constable found himself struggling with someone he could not see at all. Some people tried to help him, but found themselves hit by blows that seemed to come from nowhere. In the end, Jeffers was knocked unconscious as he made a last attempt to hold on to the unseen scientist. There were nervous, excited cries of, "Hold him!" But this was easier said than done. Griffin had shaken himself free, and no one knew where to lay hands on him.
There's a way back, you fool. There must be a way back. What is it?
Your luncheon?
Oh, take it away.
Is that what it's called, do you? Do you suppose that I'm going to carry trays backwards and forwards all day? Luncheon's at 1, and it's 1-0.
Get out! And the whole day's work ruined by a foolish ignorant woman. Leave that alone and get out of here! What are you doing here? All right, you fools. You brought it on yourselves. Everything would have come right if you'd only left me alone. You've driven me near madness with your peering through the keyholes and peeping through the curtains. And now you'll suffer for it. You're crazy to know who I am, aren't you? All right, I'll show you. There's a souvenir for you. And one for you. I'll show you who I am and what I am. How do you like that, country bumpkins. This will give them a bit of a shock. Something to write home about. Nice bedtime story for the kids, too, if they want it. Put the handcuffs on. How can I handcuff a blooming shirt? Quick, get out of it! Are you satisfied now, you fools? It's easy, really, if you're clever. A few chemicals mixed together, that's all. And flesh and blood and bone just fade away. A little of this injected under the skin of the arm every day for a month. An invisible man can rule the world. Nobody will see him come. Nobody will see him go. He can hear every secret. He can rob, rape, and kill. Not if he can't get no further than this room, he won't. Hey, look out! I'm afraid I need this bicycle. He stole me bike! Here's your blooming bicycle. You can do what you like with it. How's that for a hairbrush, George Henry? Good morning, grandfather. How do you do? We do our part.
This is a story about a scientist Griffin who had made certain drug through which he became invisible. But he was as solid as glass. He was a lawless person. He set fire to his landlord's house in revenge and escaped from there by removing his all clothes. He went to a big store in London where he had some food and then he sleep. In morning he saw some people were approaching towards him and then he quickly escaped from there also. Then he reached a theatrical company where he had stolen fake nose, some bandages and money from a shop. After that he went to a village, Epping, where he had booked 2 rooms in a hotel and Mrs. Hall, the owner of Epping, was ready to ignore his quick temper as he had paid in advance. After some time, the stolen money was finished. Then the scientist had stolen money from a clergyman's house in village. At the same time, Mr. and Mrs. Hall went to a scientist's room. After seeing strange things inside the room, they thought that the room is haunted by ghosts. Everyone in the village, after knowing about the robbery and mysterious things happening in the Epping, was sure that Griffin had stolen the money from the clergyman's house. At the last, the police constable was called secretly. But Mrs. Hall did not wait for police constable, and then she went to Griffin and start asking her questions. Griffin remove all his clothes and try and show his invisible body, and then everyone was shocked. Then the police constable arrived at that time, and at that time when the police constable arrived, he was trying to caught Griffin, but he was not able to caught him, and Griffin escaped from there.
यह कहानी उन 2 लड़कों से शुरू होती है जो कि अदृश्य व्यक्ति का पीछा कर रहे होते हैं। वह अदृश्य व्यक्ति कोई और नहीं, वह मशहूर वैज्ञानिक ग्रिफिन था जो कि जल्दी में ही एक अदृश्य होने का नुक्ता ढूंढ निकाला था। वह एक टेढ़े दिमाग का व्यक्ति था जो कि किसी कानून को ना मानता था। उसके जमींदार ने उसे अपने घर से निकालने की कोशिश की तो ग्रिफिन ने उस घर को आग के हवाले कर दिया। उसने अपने अदृश्य होने का कई गलत कामों के लिए फ़ायदा उठाया, जैसे लंदन के बिग स्टोर में बिना पैसे दिए खान पान आदि, यानी एक तरह की चोरी की। उसके बाद वह ड्यूरी लेन पहुंचा, जो कि थिएटर वर्ल्ड का केंद्र है। वह वहां पर जाकर आर्टिफिशियल नोज चेहरे पर पट्टियां बांधता है जिससे उसे सब लोग देख सके और वह अजीब लगे। उसने यह सब काम फ्री का इस्तेमाल किया, बल्कि दुकानदार के सारे पैसे भी लूट लिए। इस सब के बाद ग्रिफिन एक गांव में चला जाता है और एक किराए का घर भी ले लेता है जिसकी मालकिन मिसेज हॉल होती हैं। और वह समय एक जाड़े का समय होता है और मिसेज हॉल को ग्रिफिन के आने का उतनी ही खुशी मिलती है जितनी कि एक किसान को अपने सूखे खेत में बारिश की पहली बूंद को देखकर। असल में ठंड के मौसम में कोई ग्राहक मिलना बहुत मुश्किल बात होती है। मिसेज हॉल ग्रिफिन से बहुत खुश भी थी क्योंकि ग्रिफिन ने अपना सारा किराया पहले ही चुका दिया था, जो कि सारे पैसे वह दुकानदार से लूट के लाया था। ग्रिफिन वहाँ बहुत दिनों तक रहता है और उसके सारे पैसे धीरे धीरे ख़त्म हो जाते हैं। तो अगली बार का किराया देने की बारी आती है तो वह गांव के क्लर्जी, जो कि हम क्रिश्चियन संत कह सकते हैं, उनके घर पर पैसों की चोरी कर लेता है और अगले ही दिन अपना सारा नया किराया भी चुका देता है। और यहाँ मैं यह स्पष्ट कर देना चाहता हूँ कि वह चोरी कैसे करता था। असल में उसकी बॉडी अदृश्य हो गई थी, उसके कपड़े नहीं। और जब उसे चोरी करनी होती थी तब वह अपने कपड़े और पट्टियाँ निकाल देता था। इसी बीच मिसेज हॉल के साथ एक और इंसिडेंट होता है कि गिरफिन के घर का दरवाज़ा खुला होता है और मिसेज हॉल उसके अंदर चली जाती हैं। तो वह देखती हैं कि गिरफिन के कपड़े जो कि वह रोज़ पहने रहता है वह वहीं बेड पर पड़े होते हैं। उसकी आर्टिफिशियल नोज और चेहरे पर लपेटने वाली पट्टियाँ भी वहीं पड़ी मिलती हैं, क्योंकि गिरफिन उस समय क्लर्जी के घर पर चोरी करने गया होता है। इस सब के बाद मिसेज हॉल को भी उसके ऊपर शक होने लगता है कि कल तक वह कह रहा था कि शहर से उसका कोई चेक आने वाला है और अचानक उसके पास इतने सारे पैसे कहां से आ जाते हैं। मिसेज हॉल वहां के पुलिस कांस्टेबल को भी बुला लेती हैं और जब मिसेज हॉल गिरफिन से यह पूछती हैं कि वह बंद कमरे से बाहर कैसे आया तो वह बहुत गुस्सा हो जाता है और अपनी पट्टियाँ उतारने लगता है। अंत में कांस्टेबल और गांव के अन्य व्यक्ति उसे पकड़ने के लिए दौड़ाते हैं तो वह फिर इस बार भी भागने में सफल हो जाता है। मतलब वह अपने सारे कपड़े उतार देता है जिससे वह अदृश्य हो जाता है और कोई उसे पकड़ नहीं पाता।